Moroccans in the country's neglected northeastern city of Rabat have been simmering with rage since last week, when two brothers were killed in a mine collapse accident. The protesters in the city, which is hugely reliant on its mining industry, have been calling for better working and living conditions. The demonstrators vented their anger at the government's economic policy that they say leaves Rabat residents no choice but to often work under life-threatening conditions. Decades of mining in harsh conditions have taken their toll on the people's health in this impoverished city, which has a population of around 45,000. Silicosis, which is a lung disease caused by inhaling fine coal dust, is now common in Rabat. With only one specialized medical center in the city, many miners die due to the lack of adequate medical care.
Around 1998, the mines were closed for economic reasons. It was concluded that it was cheaper to import coal rather than mine it in that particular region. Consequently, tens of thousands of people have been impacted by the mine closures. So what you have now is that young people who have no other means of survival and employment engage in illegal mining, which they try to go into these areas and scrap coal, in which they sell on the open market. As a result of this, two young brothers, one 23 and another 30, died.
Morocco is the world's third largest producer of phosphorates, and in addition to mining, the North African country is hugely dependent on its agriculture and tourism sectors. Rabat grew around the booming mining sector in the 1920s, but the closure of coal mines that employed thousands of local people in the late 1990s dealt a heavy blow to Rabat's economy. Today, according to the government statistics agency, the city is among the poorest areas in Morocco. Despite repeated promises, the government has done little to tackle the growing unemployment in the region. This has been a factor behind the growing discontent with Rabat over the past several years.
Also close to there, in the Rif region, over the last year or more, there have been demonstrations over economic conditions as well. And of course, some of the slogans that were used in the demonstration in Hoceima were also adopted in the demonstrations that have erupted in the Northeast, particularly centered around the demand for jobs and economic opportunities.
Morocco has a parliamentary constitutional monarchy political system, and the constitution grants the king extensive powers, including disbanding the parliament, suspending the constitution, calling for new elections, and ruling by decree. Back in 2011, following a wave of anti-government protests which swept through some Arab countries, Morocco's King Mohammed agreed to give greater power to elected politicians. However, he has kept exclusive control over the military.
Even though there's a parliament that exists, there are political parties, but many of their decisions can be vetoed by the monarchy. So this creates a problem in regard to free expression and free association, and it inevitably has an impact on the economy also. So it's a broader democratic struggle that is waiting to erupt, not only in the Northeast, in the so-called Oriental region or the Rif regions, but throughout Morocco as a whole.
In June, the army was deployed to the neglected Rif region in the country's north to quash a popular movement led by Nasser Zefzafi, who was spearheading a campaign against official abuses. Given the circumstances, protesters in Rabat seem to be facing an uphill struggle to compel authorities to heed their call for justice and better living conditions.